Last week, a viewer sent me his service invoice from a Jeep dealership. $1,847 for what the service advisor called critical maintenance on his 2021 Wrangler with only 32,000 miles. When I looked at the breakdown, my blood boiled. Transmission flush, $389. Cabin air filter replacement, $68. Brake fluid exchange, $179. Extended warranty upgrade, $850. Labor that should have taken 45 minutes billed at 2.3 hours. Here's what really happened. That Jeep didn't need a single one of those services. Not one. The transmission fluid was still bright red. The cabin air filter had been replaced 8,000 miles ago. The brake fluid tested perfectly fine. And that warranty? Pure profit with exclusions so thick you'd need a lawyer to understand what's actually covered. I'm about to expose the 5 most common scams that Jeep service centers are running right now, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to protect yourself. By the end of this video, you'll know more than most service advisors want you to know. Let's get into it. Scam number 1, the unnecessary transmission flush. This is the big one, and it's happening at almost every Jeep dealership in the country. You bring your Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, or Gladiator in for an oil change, and the service advisor comes back with a concerned look. Sir, our technician noticed your transmission fluid is getting dark. We strongly recommend a transmission flush before you hit any serious mileage. Here's the truth. Modern Jeep transmissions, especially the 8-speed and 9-speed automatics in 2018, and newer models, use lifetime fluid that rarely needs changing before 100,000 miles under normal driving. Jeep's own maintenance schedule says transmission service intervals are 120,000 miles for severe conditions, and many models don't require it at all during normal ownership. But dealerships know that most customers don't read their owner's manual. They know the word transmission scares people because transmission repairs are expensive. So they push flushes at 30,000, 40,000, even 20,000 miles, charging anywhere from $250 to $450 for a service your Jeep doesn't need. How do you protect yourself? Simple. Open your owner's manual or check your Jeep's maintenance schedule online. If transmission service isn't listed for your current mileage, you don't need it. And if a service advisor insists, ask them to show you where in the official Jeep maintenance schedule it says you need it now. Watch how fast they backtrack. Here's the insider detail they won't tell you. Transmission fluid doesn't wear out from age or mileage alone. It degrades from heat and contamination. If your transmission is shifting smoothly and the fluid is still red or pink, not brown or black, and doesn't smell burned, it's fine. A simple dipstick check or looking at the fluid through the inspection window tells you everything. Most Jeeps don't even have a dipstick anymore because the manufacturer designed it not to need regular fluid changes. Scam number 2, the $65 cabin air filter scam. This one is so brazen it's almost insulting. You're sitting in the waiting room, and the service advisor brings out a dirty cabin air filter. We found this during your inspection. It's absolutely filthy. For your health and your family's safety, we recommend replacing it today. It's only $68 and we can have it done in 5 minutes. $68 for a filter that costs $12 to $18 at any auto parts store and takes literally 2 minutes to replace yourself. No tools required on most Jeep models. Just pop open the glove box, release 2 clips, slide the old filter out, slide the new one in. 2 minutes. $12. But here's where it gets worse. In many cases, that filthy filter they're showing you isn't even from your vehicle. It's a universal dirty filter they keep in the service bay, specifically to show customers. I've talked to former dealership technicians who admit this happens. They grab the disgusting filter from the prop drawer, show it to you, get your approval, then install a $12 filter and charge you $68. Even when they do actually replace your filter, the markup is insane. A Mopar cabin air filter costs the dealership $8 to $12 wholesale. They're charging you $40 to $50 for the part, then adding $25 to $30 in labor for a job that takes 2 minutes. That's $68 for $10 worth of parts and 120 seconds of work. Do it yourself. YouTube has hundreds of videos showing exactly how to replace the cabin air filter on your specific Jeep model. You'll save $50 every single time, and you'll feel good knowing you weren't put out to the service bay and watch. If the technician isn't attaching a bleeder hose to each wheel and pumping fluid through, they're not doing a real flush. Here's how to know if you actually need it. Brake fluid should be clear to light amber when new. As it ages and absorbs moisture, it turns darker brown. If you open your brake fluid reservoir and the fluid is still light-colored and translucent, you don't need a flush. Most Jeeps can go 60,000 to 80,000 miles before needing brake fluid service under normal conditions. The key word is normal. If you've done a lot of mountain driving or heavy towing, the interval is shorter. But for regular driving, 3 years or 30,000 miles is way too soon. Scam number 4. Extended warranty pressure tactics. You're sitting down to pay for your oil change, and the service advisor slides a paper across the desk. I see your factory warranty expires in 6 months. Let me tell you about our exclusive Jeep Extended Warranty program. It covers everything: engine, transmission, electrical. You'd be crazy not to get this protection. Then comes the pressure. They'll tell you horror stories about $8,000 transmission replacements, $6,500 engine repairs, customers who wished they had coverage. They'll offer you a one-time discount if you sign today. They'll say the price goes up once your factory warranty expires. They make it sound like you're gambling with financial ruin if you don't buy. Here's the reality. Dealership extended warranties are massively marked up, filled with exclusions and often unnecessary. That $3,500 warranty the dealer is selling, an independent company would sell you similar coverage for $1,800 to $2,200. The dealer is making $1,000 to $1,500 in profit just from the markup. But it gets worse. Read the fine print on these warranties. They exclude wear items like brake pads, rotors, wiper blades, and batteries. They exclude damage from lack of maintenance, which is subjective and gives them an easy out. They require you to have all service done at a dealership, locking you into their inflated prices forever. And they have deductibles, sometimes $100 to $200 per visit, that eat into the value. If you want extended warranty coverage, shop independently. Companies like Endurance, Olive, and CarChecks offer better prices and more flexible terms. Never buy an extended warranty in the finance office on the spot. Take the paperwork home, read it carefully, compare prices, and make a decision when you're not under pressure. And here's the secret. Most Jeeps, especially Wranglers and Grand Cherokees built after 2018, are reliable enough that extended warranties are often a bad financial bet. You're paying $3,000 to $4,000 for coverage you'll probably never use. Take that money, put it in a savings account labeled car repairs, and you'll likely come out ahead. Scam number 5. Inflated labor rates and phantom hours. You approve an oil change and tire rotation. The estimate says 1 hour of labor at $165 per hour. When you pick up your Jeep, the invoice shows 1.4 hours. You ask why, and the service advisor says, well, the technician ran into some complications accessing the drain plug. This is called labor padding, and it's rampant. Dealerships use a system called book time, or flat rate, where certain jobs are assigned a set number of hours regardless of how long they actually take. An oil change might be booked at 0.6 hours, meaning the tech gets paid for 36 minutes, even if it takes 15 minutes. That system is fine when it's transparent. The problem is when dealerships pad the hours or charge for labor that didn't happen. The average dealership labor rate for Jeep is $165 to $195 per hour depending on your location. That's not the scam. The scam is billing you for 2.5 hours when the job took 1.2 hours. They'll justify it by saying, we had to remove this component to access that component, when in reality, the tech did it in half the quoted time because they're experienced. Here's how to protect yourself. Before approving any service, ask for the estimated labor hours and the labor rate separately. Write it down. When you pick up the vehicle, compare the invoice to what was quoted. If the hours increased, ask why specifically. Don't accept vague answers like complications or additional work needed. Ask what additional work, how long it took, and why you weren't called for approval. Also compare dealership labor quotes to independent shops. For most maintenance and repairs, a good independent shop with ASE certified techs will charge $95 to $125 per hour and be just as capable. You're paying $40 to $70 more per hour at the dealership for the Jeep logo on their sign, not for superior service. And here's the detail that'll make you angry. Technicians at dealerships are often paid flat rate, meaning they get paid based on book time, not actual time worked. If a job books at 2 hours and they finish in 1 hour, they still get paid for 2 hours. This creates an incentive to work fast, but it also creates an incentive to cut corners. Meanwhile, you're paying for those full 2 hours at $180 per hour. The dealership wins. The tech wins. You lose. Look, not every Jeep dealership is running these scams, and not every service advisor is dishonest. There are good dealers with ethical practices. But the incentive structure at most dealerships rewards high service revenue, and that creates pressure to oversell. Service advisors often work on commission. The more services they sell, the more money they make. That's a conflict of interest when you're trusting them to tell you what your vehicle actually needs. The $1,847 invoice I showed you at the beginning? That customer called the dealership, disputed the charges, and after I helped him document that none of those services were due based on Jeep's official maintenance schedule, they refunded $1,240. He paid for the oil change he actually came in for and nothing else. You have more power than you think. These scams only work when customers don't know what questions to ask. Now you know. If this video just saved you from an unnecessary $400 transmission flush, hit that like button. Subscribe because next week I'm exposing the 3 ways dealerships manipulate trade-in values to steal thousands from unsuspecting customers. And drop a comment telling me your worst dealership experience. Let's hold these places accountable together. Stay smart, stay informed, and remember, your Jeep doesn't need half the services they're trying to sell you. See you in the next one.